Breeze Nation, what is good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again with the super producer Joe Holt.
Yeah.
Hey man, we appreciate y'all tuning in and showing love. Gotta talk about what we saw first day in pads. Did we get some questions answered, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, we did. Very excited by what we saw to the Chicago Bears today on their first day in pads. Still some question marks available for the team to figure out, but they've got another day tomorrow in pads. And of course, we know they're going to be ramping up for the Hall of Fame game next Thursday. So a lot to get done in a little bit of time. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Let's start it off. First off, Joe, how you feeling today, my guy? What's going on with you, man?
Can't complain. I was kind of dealing with like a sinus thing, but it's like finally better. Laboring with that for the week, but anytime you hear some good news about some football and having some standouts, always makes you feel a little bit better.
Yeah, I was gonna offer you some cranberry juice by starting off the show whining like that.
Was it period?
A great movie reference, though. It's a great movie reference. But Bearlissimo said next Friday for me. Of course, Bearlissimo. Shout out to our listeners on the other side of the world out here. No, today was a good day, and we could start off with the elephant in the room. The guy who is on the thumbnail. This is what I wanted to come into camp looking for. Of course, you want to see what Caleb Williams does. You want to see what the receivers are going to do, right? But I wanted to know, do we have some answers on both sides of these lines? And dare I say, Javon Dexter on the first play of team drills did not disappoint. I mean, literally first play, me and her, it was J-Mac was there. Of course, Herb Howard is always there with us as well. And so I kind of went in there and like sat down, and it was us three together. And the first play, Javon Dexter is in the backfield, and I go, oh my God. And Herb goes, you saw that? The very next play. Now, I don't know if this was scripted. I don't know if this is how the Bears, right, because it is practice. It is training camp. So they're going through a set of plays. The very next play, though, Javon Dexter is double teamed. Now, seeing him get into the backfield, start off with his get off, very quick. He's not taking that time. He's not thinking. He is a 3 technique for a penetrating style defense right now. Love to see that. The other thing that I saw today from him that I think maybe needs a little bit of work, want to see a little bit more, is he talked about the feel of the game, having the feel, knowing when to go, knowing when you're not going to be able to get through. He's still doing, at least in this first padded practice, a little bit of that. I'm trying to push everybody to where I want them to go. And so he's not getting the hands up just yet. He's kind of still figuring that part out. He did have a batted ball by doing that today. And that's the one thing that I would want to see, where he's just got to anchor himself and then realize I'm not going anywhere, and then get your hands up. You're a big boy. Try to make the throw difficult. He did that one time today. And on the other side of that, he was in the backfield quite a bit. It was exciting to see. And I think that the Bears may have, and I'll say this, you got to do it versus real competition, right? You've got to do it versus real competition. But it's exciting to see that he looks like a 3 technique. I left the day not questioning, okay, is he a 3 technique? Is he maybe, do we maybe need to see him with more weight on him? Can he play at the size that he's at? Right? Do we need to move him around the offensive line? He looks like a 3 technique. He looks like somebody you can have it with a confidence in at that 3 tech position right now.
He might. Oh, I was going to say he might be one of the larger or bigger 3 technique guys, because I didn't know how tall like DeForest Buckner. That dude's a giant, 6'7", 295. But Warren Sapp,
he's right about there though, and
he's like 6'5".
He's 6. I got him 6'6" on PFF, 313. I don't know if he lost weight or maintained.
Yeah, he might,
because he gained muscle, so he may have maintained 313 and just be leaner and quicker. By the way, just a quick note here, real quick. Just want to point this out to you guys. Oh, 100 in the chat. Hold on, we got to do it like that. Hold on, there we go.
Mr. Meaty.
Appreciate y'all tuning in, showing love you on the YouTube side. Hit that like button. If you over on the Twitter side, man, hit that quote tweet. Let them know where to find us at.
Yes,
but yeah, I mean, Dex is a big boy. Yes,
that's on. typically all the other guys have been more like around that 6'1", 6'2", even 6 feet. So the Forest being 6'7", and then thanks D Burns. Yeah, 6'6". That's good. That's a big dude. Now the question is who double teamed him? Who was blocking? Was it Tevin or was it the?
There was a couple different combinations. So of course this is with the one. So you had Coleman Shelton who got, which is the other news today. He got the first run at pads today. And then it was either Tevin Jenkins or Nate Davis both got in there on some double teams, depending on which side they ran the ball to. The double teams looked good on the offensive line side of the ball. He wasn't able to move. There was a play, like I said, where he got his hands up and knocked down one of the footballs. Actually, I'll say this: he got his hands up, he tipped the ball. You could hear it go, and it still went into DJ Moore's hands, who just stopped short on the route and was able to catch it. So it was literally the best of both worlds on that play. If you're a Bears fan right now, but no, he looked every bit of the part of the three technique. I'm not going to say that he's a finished product just yet, but the biggest thing that you can come out of today saying is it doesn't seem like it's a question.
Yeah. No, that's great news.
I didn't hear the interview with Joniak. Dexter said he's at 306 in the interview with Jeff Joniak. So that's
still huge.
That's still huge. That's still huge.
He's just an inch shorter and
big
still
boy.
Bigger.
He's a big boy.
Huge. Yeah, no, that's it's good to hear. Now the other thing is there any development or growth with Pickens? Are they clearly
Pickens hasn't stood out as of yet in camp.
Mm-hmm.
Pickens, there's a clear line of demarcation this year. Last year, it was kind of what's going. You all right back there?
All right, just had to hit the freaking thing. Sorry.
Last year, it was kind of a it was a close battle. You could tell that there was, Pickens was winning some and Dexter was winning some. This year, it's been Gervon Dexter's show, and he's shown out at it. And so I think that it's his job to win, and he's doing a phenomenal job going out there and competing at it. On the flip side of that, I think we also got a little bit of insight into what Coleman Shelton kind of is one-on-one. Now, again, it's the first practice. You don't have to panic, but somebody had to get killed on the other side of that. Now, if Javon Dexter turns into an all-pro player, and we're talking about him as, one of the best three techniques in the NFL, we're having a very different conversation. But as of what we saw today, I mean, Coleman Shelton looked like he was just getting cooked on a fairly consistent basis with pads on. Now, Ryan Bates is the guy that has been brought in seemingly to be the leader of this offense, seemingly to be the main focal point. Of this offensive line, I should say, seemingly to be that focal point at the center position. So we'll get to see what he looks like tomorrow in pads, and maybe he'll look a little bit better. Yeah. But Coleman Shelton did not have a great showing at the center position today, which I guess is not here's the tough part about it. The back and forth at the center position makes no sense to me, because I don't know if you saw the Tevin Jenkins post-game interview or post-practice interview, but when they asked him, Tevin, who's the vocal leader on this offensive line? I mean, without even missing a beat, he goes, Ryan Bates. Okay, there's your answer.
Mm-hmm.
Your vocal leader's not coming off of the bench.
Well, he has to be able to be good. You could talk all you want to like DeMarcus Walker, doesn't mean you're a great player. But if you're able to help with that culture, I guess to me, they're probably, if they're giving looks, it could be that if Ryan Bates might be the starter, but they just want to give Shelton some reps too,
Yeah, but you don't do that with ones, right? Like you do that when you don't have an answer at the position. If it feels like you have, and I haven't seen Ryan Bates out there with pads on. I hope that we have an answer at the position. I hope that he is that answer for us. But it just seems like there's a lot of games being played at positions that you should not be playing games at. And if you feel like he's your vocal leader, that's something that he brings you. If you feel like right now, again, we'll see what he looks like versus Dexter tomorrow. But if you feel like he's a guy who, yes, he does some things well, but he needs to work on other things, you're wasting valuable time for him to work on those things by swapping out reps with Coleman Shelton. You're not working on those things on a padded day with the twos.
Well, it's very early. I think the whole point is just that this is the first real practice. Everything else is cool.
That's literally what J-Mac said.
The first real practice. So
he's like, it's practice one.
Yeah, like all that other stuff is just warm ups, getting ready. Now we see who's made of what, who's really going to be the starter. So if whatever we end up with is the best lineup, that's all I care about. If we know that Braxton Jones is entrenched as left tackle, okay. We know Jenkins is the left guard. We prefer to have him on the right. If Nate Davis is actually doing what he's supposed to do, then we have a right guard. So the thing is now is who's the best center? Is it going to this week? Is it this day? Is this guy? This day the other guy? Oh, hey, AG.
Shout out to AG, man.
Shout out to AG.
Shout out to AG.
All good. Anyways, I think the best, whatever the best lineup that we get out of this, and if it ends up being that it's Bates or I don't care. I just want the best guy to start. Whether he's
I just think here's my thing. Last year felt like a lot of wasted time with a lot of stuff we did. That's what I don't want to do again. Last year felt like, well, we're trying to figure out who's going to be here, who's going to be here. We got an open competition, and you wasted a bunch of time, and then you got to the regular season, and the guys that you wanted to be in that number one spot weren't. Like, make a decision on, and I get it, you want to see who's the best, but clearly you feel Ryan Bates is giving you the best option. Like, why? And also, you traded for Ryan Bates. I understand you signed Coleman Shelton. That plays into it as well, but you traded for Ryan Bates. You traded a 4th rounder for Ryan Bates, if I'm not mistaken. 5th rounder for Ryan Bates. Mm-hmm. Why are we wasting time, even so, not trying to develop him?
Maybe
Thank you, Don Burr, for going up to the to your regular page. We don't do that Don Burr 2.0 over here. I'm here for all the smoke.
What?
Now, Don Burr, most Bears channels have Don Burr blocked. So he made Don Burr 2.0 so that he can talk trash again. But we never block him. So I'm like, don't you come in here with that garbage. you come in. I don't acknowledge Don Burr 2.0. I only acknowledge Don Burr. But go ahead.
What up, though, is Detroit lingo. We say that out here in Chicago. What up, though, is not.
I didn't know that was a Detroit thing.
Yeah, I don't think that was just Detroit. But
I think everyone says what up, though.
Yeah. Everybody's been blasting about this Tua. The Athletic I just got a notification that Tua had signed for 4 years. So they're saying with $212 million.
Yeah, I don't care. He's not gonna be able to win versus all these cold weather teams that are great.
Yeah, good for him. I'm happy he got his money because they kind of jerked him around for a while, but I'm glad he's okay. And they did.
I know.
Yeah. So
anyway,
now I think getting the line. I'm just happy that Nate Davis was there. I'm happy that Tevin Jenkins is not injured.
Yeah.
We have a few more weeks to go because basically in about 4 weeks, we're going to have the season will be here. So that's the biggest thing is everybody taking this serious and really, and getting better every day. So if it's Coleman Shelton, if it's Ryan Bates, I don't care. Whoever is the guy.
My thing is just whoever it is, I'm with you. Don't waste time on it, though.
But I think they need both of them. They're trying to probably figure out if Ryan Bates was supposedly the guy that they traded for, they probably want to see if Coleman too might have some he got some go. So I don't know. Or maybe Bates is not, something's going on that we don't know with Bates.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, it could be that too, right? Which I wouldn't put it past the Bears to be like, he's got like a leg thing and he doesn't want to overwork. So we're giving him every other day. But he's still practicing every day.
But that means there's something going on. So that's probably what the situation is. You want him, at this point, how were the twos? Who was practicing with the twos?
The twos.
Ryan Bates was with the twos. But so Bates didn't practice at all?
No, Ryan Bates practiced with the twos. That's what I'm saying. Every other day, they swap in who's with the ones and who's with the twos.
Right. So they're trying to figure out
who's going to be with the ones consistently. My thing is stop playing that game. You know which one you want to be with the ones. Let him get in the work with the ones. I understand that Coleman Shelton has started at center, and he's probably the safe bet. But that's not the guy that you want to be your starting center.
Well, it's not like quarterback. When they say if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterback. To me, it's early. Let's just see who they'll probably figure out in the next week. How many more practices do they have? Where they're practicing in pads? Is today, tomorrow?
Today and tomorrow is all we got for pads for right now.
Yeah.
And then They practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't know if any of those are in pads. We'll probably get clarification up there tomorrow.
The Bengals practice is what?
Bengals is a joint practice. That's in week 3.
Week 3, yeah. So wait, week 3 of
preseason.
Preseason. Oh, we got okay, that's in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So by that time, we probably have that to me is the barometer of how this team is really going to look anyways. So it's still early. It's just encouraging that we have seen growth. That was the questions we said yesterday. What do we want to see? We want to see Dexter, check. We want to see the offensive line in the trenches, check. Were they able to hold up and protect Caleb?
There was a lot of movement. There was a lot of Caleb movement. The defensive line was after.
Movement.
There's a lot of Caleb movement today. I'll say this: as far as the operation, I thought that there was a lot of penalties today, a lot of false starts, a lot of offensive holding, a lot of defensive PI. There was a lot of penalties today. I don't know if it was this refereeing crew, but I mean, like, guys were getting penalties on both sides of the football. I thought that the operation was a little bit sloppy yet again today, but I think that there was more up and down. There was some, the defense, it felt like won a good chunk of the periods, but then you got into the situational period and you saw Caleb Williams have one of his better performances in the situational period because he recognized that the defense was kind of in a little bit of disarray on a certain play. Jaquan Brisker and Tyrese Stevenson didn't have I think it was inside out, and they couldn't figure out, whether Reek was supposed to send him to the inside, meaning towards Jaquan, or keep him to the outside. And like Jaquan's yelling at him like, bro, like, you got to send him to me. I can't get to him if you don't send him to me. So the first pass that should have been a touchdown to Rome, just a bit overthrown. I would say if we were in a game, Rome probably gets it because he probably would have laid out for it, tried to toe tap.
High point.
But the very next play, the camp darling himself shows back up down the same spot, touchdown, Tyler Scott, back right corner during the situational period. The first time we've seen the Bears score in a situational period on this defense. And the first time, now it wasn't in the red zone. It was probably a 25, 30-yard pass. It was a nice pass, nice little touch on the pass as well. So good things happening there offensively. But for most of the day, I think that it was a very back and forth practice. It was the offense would win moments. The defense would probably, I would give it to them the day, though.
I'm not going to let AG get me excited. I don't know about that, dog. Get behind me. I rebuke you. You will not
don't do excited. Don't do that. Hey, I did think it, though.
Is that the second round
Trent
pick?
Williams holdout news?
Is that the second round pick that goes to?
I give you a first for Trent Williams. I give you a first for Trent Williams. The best left tackle in the game. Remember Dominique Robinson figured out when he lifts his foot, I was able to get off the line quicker. So he had a sack and a half on or almost 2 sacks on whoever the quarterback was that day. I think it was Trey Lance. And Trent was like, yeah, I've done that my whole career. It don't matter. Good job, kid. I don't think he gave up a sack the rest of the season. I'll take Trent Williams. You never have to worry about me questioning whether I want Trent Williams or not.
That would be interesting if they put him. He's the automatic left tackle, and then is Braxton on his? What's he on his? Is he on his rookie?
Braxton's on his rookie deal, but hey, you the backup, my boy, or you figure out how to play left guard.
No, well, that was my idea, but we don't move people around according to Pat because he can't do the bull rush. But that was my idea.
Well, I think that it would be. That's why I said learn to play left guard. I think it would be bad if we moved him over to the left guard.
Yeah. Oh wait, Trent's 36. I thought he was younger than that.
I mean, no, Trent still got some age on him, but
never mind.
Trent one of them players that you just be like, hey man, you 40. Why you still doing this?
Oh, he's 36. Yeah, nah, never mind. No,
hey,
I want to go young.
Start
give him the second rounder for that? No.
Start Caleb career off fully protected. That's
if you have him for honestly, if you have him
got him for 3 years.
If you have him 3 years, that's a win in football years. So
yeah,
if he plays the 30
for a second round pick, yeah, I'd do it easily. Heartbeat.
Yeah. Now my line is solid. There's no questions. Yeah, no,
I'd rather
we
still got that whole center conversation we just talked about, but
but we'll put Braxton Jones.
Oh no, I don't want it. I don't want it. You go get this man killed. You're trying to get him killed, bro. Let my quarterback live, man. Hey, man, if you haven't done so, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. If you're on the YouTube side, hit that like button. If you're on the Twitter side, hit that retweet button, man, to share the content. Now, here's the thing that is very that I thought was my biggest takeaway from today, and I had talked about this before. A very, very chippy practice. The Bears are dying to hit somebody. They're what I say yesterday. They're like Tristan Thompson at 2 a.m. in LA. They just ready to hit something. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like it's one of those situations. Like today, bro, there's contact, right? You know there's contact, but today was like we playing football. I'm hitting you as hard as I can. We're running through you. My favorite part of the day, you got a little, like I said, a little bit of a kerfuffle. And it is DeMarcus Walker and Gerald Everett. And Gerald Everett, they're pushing back and forth. And out of nowhere, you see that orange jersey run in, which first off, terrifying. Like, hey, calm down. What's going on? Why is the orange guy in there? And Caleb Williams is in DeMarcus Walker's face. He's pushing the helmet back. He is killing the Hollywood stigma. And yes, Muzz are going to say, oh my God, that doesn't kill anything. He's still a diva, blah, blah. You can be whatever you want off of the field. On the field, are you a football player? Caleb Williams reacted as a rookie how a football player reacts when one of his teammates is in that bad situation. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Like everybody, I feel like
if the offense and the defense aren't getting along, which is, in a sense like that, that's great. And he's taking a leadership true role. Like, bro,
that's what I love about it. It's leadership. It's like, this is my tight end.
My guy. Get off my, I don't care who you are. I wanted to go circle back to this Deontay Robinson, because actually I had a thought when you had said earlier about Tyler Scott getting a touchdown. I wanted to say, like, I like that Tyler Scott got touchdowns, but I really want to hear more of that Moore or Allen or Rome. Like, to me, that means that are we going to still having a challenge? Like, it reminds me of Justin Fields, where you could barely get the ball to your 1 or your 2. So the guy that's like getting open, like I would rather see that he can make that throw. So I guess the other question is, how was he processing from, his first progression to his second? Was he able to do that? But you said they were moving. Was he able to do that?
They were moving. I think here's the thing. He processes really well. He knows where he wants to go with the football. I mean, when he drops back, especially if he's got a clean pocket, it's 1-2 fire. Like me and J-Mac were watching. It's a quick ball. It's a fast ball. It is going to get to his receiver. He is not afraid to throw it into tight windows. Like, those are the things that I love that we're seeing out of Caleb Williams, and we're seeing that almost on a much more consistent basis now. The one thing that I will say is, as far as him going through his progressions and stuff like that, it was tough today because there were times where he was off of his spot. Also, it's very tough because while he may be going through his progressions, literally as we're sitting there, some guy who you could tell is just like a diehard fan is always out here and stuff like that. He's like, man, you got to let that thing go. You looking like Justin Fields out there. He's not looking like Justin Fields in the sense of he's processing the information. It's just a really good defense, bro. As he goes from 1 to 2 to 2 to 3, first off, you're barely getting to 3 before the defense is in the backfield. Second off, the corners are really freaking good. There's a reason we talk about how good this team can be defensively. These DBs are all over it. Now, Kyler Gordon was not out there again today. He's been out last couple of days with some, I think it was hamstring tightness. It was not a hamstring pull, just some tightness. And so they're taking they're taking some precautions there. But I mean, listen, like Caleb is trying to process this information versus a defense that doesn't want to give him anything, that isn't giving him anything, and he's still finding a way to make plays.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, I'd rather that he's learning against the best, one of the top defenses.
It's a quick ball. It's a fastball. Fastest ball you've ever seen. Shout out Alex Houston on that. Donald Trump in quotation. It's a beautiful ball. It's a fastball. It's a very quick ball. And it gets there. Caleb, who are you voting for? Not Donald Trump. We're one of the worst balls I've ever seen thrown in my life. Terrible. I can't believe it. No, that Shane Gillis still getting me, bro. I just keep watching clips of that every time they pop up, bro.
Dude, he killed that. He that was so good, and that was all improv at the same time. That was good. So we like that he got in there. He could tussle and get into the mix. He pushed, and I think, to me, guys like, again, you got DeMarcus Walker, they talk, and a lot of times you want to shut those guys up because it's like he reminds you of those, just that guy that's like, because he has other people to back him up to try to talk trash. And those, he's like the worst one where it's like you want to punch him in the mouth, but he's got a backup that's actually like you got the other guys to back you. But those are the worst ones. Those are like your Patrick Beverleys of the
your
world.
Martellus Bennett's. Well, Martellus Bennett?
No, Martellus would punch him in the mouth.
Martellus would have punched D-Walk by now. I'm not gonna lie.
I still remember him taking the dude and watching.
It was Kyle Fuller. It was Kyle Fuller.
I remember him just
Kyle Fuller and you could tell it was funny because you could tell what they thought of the Marty B doing that was like when Draymond punched Jordan Poole. Because it was like everybody went to Kyle Fuller, like, Kyle, are you okay? Get up, Kyle. You good, man? And nobody went to Marty B. It was like when Jordan Poole got knocked out, and everybody was just like, hey, man.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have been talking stuff.
I'm with Gucci Finesse. I mean, to your point, like, all of this is good news of progression. But like Gucci's saying, it doesn't matter. If we look like, an unprepared team coming out week one, this doesn't mean anything. Because what you don't want is that it's like we've been dealing with this for years, right? Good practice today, and then they get out in the game and it looks like garbage, from Trubisky, even Fields, like over the years in the last,
But I think the difference is Fields, yes. I think with Fields, we got more of that.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, with Mitch, we left more practices going, ugh.
Yeah. Oh, I do believe
that when we felt good. And I think there's been more of that. I think with Justin, we saw a ton of back and forth. It was like, great practice today. Not good.
Yeah. And that was the thing. It's like some of that's the coaching is that because that was Nagy too, right?
Yeah.
And so now with Eberflus, I can't say last year was, there was conflict between Getsy with Fields, right? And then Fields is like the coaching, they're coaching me to do this. We knew there was problems then. This regime seems like from the top down, everybody's aligned. There is a form of progression, So I just think that as long as we know that I'm fine him having issues as long as by the next practice or two, there's bright spots that he's getting better at. So I'm not as worried, until, really it's unless we're stringing along a lot of bad practices. But
I like this comment from Bex. He said they actually practiced, and last season they didn't practice till week 4. That is my takeaway from today as well. And that's why I said Matt Eberflus may have to dial things back. It's not like they're just like J-Mac was kind of joking about it. He was like, well, they're not really hitting out there. And I was like, well, you go tell them that. Because they were hitting today. Like there was a lot of like running into guys back and forth. No, get off of me. I'm running through this. And you can tell that there is a standard that they've set for themselves. And just looking at padded practices from last season to looking at padded practices now, they're actually doing things that I feel it's like, yo, this is a rigorous practice. They're getting good work in. This is going to go towards something. Where last year, I mean, like, it was like, yeah, they're practicing, but I literally left every practice just going, bro, we just watched them throw one-on-ones for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, how's that going to help in 11 on 11? It felt like they weren't running team drills every day. It felt like they were, you know what I mean? Like those things. Every day this year, or every day this training camp, situational drills, team drills, 7-on-7, every single day. You even got situational today with the special teams unit. Yes, Torrey Taylor was booming that thing. Yes, he was. But so was Corliss, who's the backup punter. And I still have a tough time stomaching that. I'm not going to lie to you, bro. I'm telling y'all, this backup punter is just as good as it may not go as high as Torrey, but he's pretty good, bro. He's pretty freaking good. But still, no. But it's just, it's a practice that feels like it's actually being beneficial to Caleb Williams, being beneficial to this offensive line, and it's doing that on a consistent basis. That's what I wanted to see this year, and I've commended Matt Eberflus for that. You looked at the flaws you had last year, and you adjusted and made those changes this year. Now, don't screw this up with the Hall of Fame game happening on Sunday. Don't screw this up. Yeah, I mean, like, don't go out there and screw all this stuff up with stupid stuff.
I think too, last year from this year is that there was a continuation. I think that was Getsy's second year. So they probably, they didn't have that sense of urgency to a degree, or maybe it just was bad management coaching. There's a reason that everybody was practically fired but Eberflus.
Yeah.
And he saved his job from a defensive standpoint. So now with a new offensive coordinator, they have to practice. Did we do 200 in the chat? Did we? No,
we did not. But hey, I don't know if you noticed, but over 200 in the chat.
I forgot what Jordan was doing. He had different.
I can't switch the cameras like that. Is that right? Don DeMarco. Oh no, I gotta. Don DeMarco.
Let's see. There's a couple comments in here. I want to circle back. The first one, I like Mike Davidson's comment. He said, biggest difference for the first time since, I think, Adam Gase, we have coaches with actual answers and are available for the players. Caleb calls it midnight. They answer. Getsy hot. Nagy ghosted people. So
Nagy did ghost. That was the wildest thing ever, bro. When they said Mitch came to the meeting after the season to say, how can I get better? And Nagy just didn't show up. What?
Well, the report was he didn't like him anyways.
Nagy literally said, F this guy.
Yeah, so for the most part, it seems like this is ran, I think, like a modern NFL franchise for the very first time in a long time. It's not disjointed. It's not this group here. It's not all the silly stuff that the Bears have done over the last 20 years, if not 25 years. So to get a talent like we have, to put in a structure that we've never had, at least consistently.
Yeah.
On top of we have the defensive structure. We know that part. And, the GM is just doing well. I mean, if Javon Dexter turns into that 3 technique, like we talked about earlier, this dude is he's killing.
Bro, he's so big,
killing. Bro. If this dude second round turns into the next DeForest Buckner, the next great 3 technique, and he got him in the second round, awesome. And then I like Truman Outley's comment, because we mentioned this the other day about Parsons. I looked it up. Parsons still in his rookie contract.
Yeah, he's not about to be.
Yeah, I know he's about to cash in, but
yeah, he's not about to be, bro. He's about to become one of the highest paid players in the NFL.
But he's only getting paid $2 million this year. So next year is when he would get any type of money, in terms of just I mean, I'd trade our second round pick for him too.
I'd trade Ringo for Michael Parsons. I ain't gonna lie to you that. Listen,
I will it right up.
I trade Ringo to the Cowboys for Michael Parsons.
I trade Ringo.
Bro, I love Ringo, bro. It's my brother, but you got to do it. Silver Harvest said, from your perspective, was there any inclination to what Shane Waldron is doing in terms of, say, play call or 2-minute warning play call? I mean, listen, it's still the West Coast system. It's very similar to the things that we were running last year. But the one thing that I think stands out about it is what Joel was just saying. There seems more of an understanding on the offensive side of what they're trying to do. There seems more of an understanding from an offensive side of where guys need to be. And when they install new things, he takes that time. There's a heavy focus on Caleb Williams getting the call into the helmet and being able to regurgitate it. There's not this what is, where you look to the sideline, they like tell you the play instead. It's in the helmet. It's figured out in the headset. They're doing a ton with where you turn the music up full blast and he's got to cover the ear holes to hear what the play call is. They're going through a lot to make sure that he has a command of the huddle. They talked about that cadence in minicamp and OTAs, and I think that that's been the biggest thing. As far as the actual play calling, more running than I think we'll see in the actual season, but some good run plays. I like the blocking scheme that they're still going with. I think that how they've utilized some of their other guys, right? We talk about Tyler Scott getting that deep pass down the right sideline. I think how they've utilized their main guys as decoys has been fun to see with during the season. And sometimes, listen, the emphasis that I've seen over the last couple of practices is it's okay to just let it rip. It's okay to take a chance when you have guys like Keenan Allen out there. It's okay to take a chance when you got DJ Moore on the other side. That's, to me, what I think we've really seen from Shane Waldron that has been an emphasis.
So our offense, I mean, I know this is the McVay tree, right? And which is still a variance of the Packers, 49ers, the Rams, of course, the Seahawks, what he did in Seattle. Did you see anything where it looked like there was the two running backs? How did they utilize?
They've done a couple of two running back sets. It hasn't been a ton, but they've done a little bit of that. I think the more so that they've done is just how they've used Swift as not only a weapon in the passing game, but also in the run game as well. And I hope that there's more of a balance with that. The one thing to me that I think I've seen more of is a lot of screen passes. And I know people instantly go, oh God, it's Getsy all over again. No, they think that with the size of the receivers we have, with the amount of guys that we have on this team that can block, it makes sense to go out there and run these screen passes with a guy like DeAndre Swift, who, listen, when he turns the corner, he's fast, man. I mean, like he's got some speed to him, and in those screen passes, he is dangerous. If you utilize a guy like Bayless Jones on that, if you utilize Tyler Scott, who's been getting a ton on that, like these are plays that are working at practice, and it's because of how well the blocking has been. There was one play today where it was a run to the right side, and they hand the ball off. It was a kind of a pitch to Swift, and great lead blocking, and it worked perfectly. And he ends up gaining, I don't know, probably 10, 12 yards on that.
Yeah.
And then on the next play out, they go with a fake halfback toss, roll out the opposite direction to a crack where, boom, hits Keenan Allen. Beautiful throw. Great technique. Great how they set it up. The setups to the plays that they've run after that, you've kind of seen some correlation with that, and that's been exciting to see.
Yeah. No, I just wonder if we're going to look like, I don't know if we're going to look more like a 49ers, if more like.
I would say probably more Rams-like.
Yeah.
Probably more Rams-like, but we'll see. I mean, you can't tell a ton yet either. This is the first day in padded practice. Half the stuff they're probably like, we'll see what else is going to be going on.
Yeah, they're trying that
Baki said, hey, Pat, quick question. Who is the coach that is going viral for dancing at camp during the players stretching on the I haven't seen it, so I haven't even seen the tweet.
Does anybody know?
I didn't see the tweet.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell you who he is or not. The one thing that I am excited about with this team, especially in the running back room from a coaching standpoint, is Coach what is it, Morton? Coach Morton, Chad Morton? Ain't that who we brought in?
I think so.
Bro, I was standing there watching them go through what is the name of the one where they go through and it hits them? Yeah, Chad Morton, where it hits them in the chest and stuff like that.
The pad, like they're all running.
They're running through. I can't think of the name of the machine.
A gauntlet or something like that.
I forget what it's called. I think that is it. But he's there for players that I'm thinking, I'm like, all right, they're doing a decent job. Like, keep going. I think that's the DB's coach. I can't see. Let me see.
I had it all listed. I don't remember.
I think that's the DB's coach. Yeah, I think that's the DB's coach. But they're as they're going through, he's just MFing everybody. He's like, he told Roshan. Roshan went through. He's like, get your pad levels low. Get your pad levels low. Okay, Ro, stand up like that over there. You're gonna find out. But the tone that he has set, the gauntlet is correct. Shout out to Silver Harbor. Shout out to Joel out there. The tone that he has set, every single play. If you're a running back, you finish the play. Mm-hmm. Every single play. Today, if you were a running back that looked like you might have broke, there was somewhere it was like you'd probably been tackled, but you look like you might have broke and you got downfield, he's running down the field with him like he's still playing, like he's still got some juice left in the tank. As he's coming back down, Jalen Johnson, I think what he said to him was, get off of my sideline. He stopped and turned and looked at him. And he said, I'm going to stand right down there on your sideline until y'all finally get a stop on the running backs. Because there's nothing that you – like he's going back and he's talking trash. And he stands on the defensive sideline. And running with the backs and everything. Like the energy and the emphasis that we're seeing from these coaching staff, these coaches right now, I mean, it is – yeah. Listen, it's a coaching staff that I said this before. I think that there is a confidence in Matt Eberflus from a defensive standpoint, and because of the defense you have, you wanted to keep this defensive coach here.
Yeah.
I think they realized they needed to insulate Flus with really good people around him. And I think that they've done a really good job at that.
Yeah.
So a lot of excitement, man. A lot of good from today. A lot of I think back and forth from both sides. I think that we saw an offense that still needs work and a defense that's been together. But even the defense has some struggles today. Like I said, some miscommunications with Jaquan and with Tyreek. But it was a good first practice to get yourself started. It was a good first practice to make sure that you're not wasting these days. And that's what it felt like last season, wasted days.
No, that's great. I just feel like we're playing big boy. It's big boy football now, and the Bears I think the owners have figured out how to get out of the way. There's no more Ted Phillips. There's no more even Cliff Stein. He's gone. You got Kevin Warren in place. Poles doing his thing. Like, it's a different insulated from still being McCaskey owned, but it's actually being run by some football people. So,
what though? I think we gotta stop crushing George McCaskey. I get the McCaskeys in general, but we got to stop crushing George. George had one regime that didn't work, and then was like,
okay, yeah,
all right, we got to fix this.
Well, to be okay, if we're going to go that route,
I get it, but I get the McCaskey hate overall with everybody for the history that we've had since the Hallises haven't been a part of it. But George has done a dang good job. We don't get here without George allowing Ryan Poles to do something that no Bears owner has ever allowed a GM to do, and basically say, it's your show, figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, but smart enough to get out of the way. I mean, the fact that the GM has an assistant GM, the fact that he has, he's been able to build his team and go from there. I just think that I'll give him credit that he got out the way. But my point is just, it's a commentary of the past, of all the things that we've gone through. I think that he did inherit the stuff that he inherited. Like, he basically took over, and, Ted Phillips is practically still running everything, in terms of just because it's all about the money. You know, the money dictates a lot of things. You know, if you work for some CFOs, you'll see.
I mean, I think the thing is, by the way, over 300 and a check.
300. Oh wow.
That was weird.
Running man.
300. I give George credit because like people, I feel like people are like, well, George, you've had a terrible. What was it? George took over in 20.
He hired
16.
He hired Ernie.
When did Ryan Pace get here? That's his first hire.
20. Well, they went through a Ernie Accorsi, I think, committee thing, and that's how Pace got here. I think 2015.
That's 2015, right? So that's his first hire. And yes, it has been some rough years.
Yeah.
But he let Ryan Pace figure out the job. And then when he realized this dude ain't got it, he moved on. Took a little longer than some of us would have wanted, but he moved on.
Yeah. No,
this is his second regime, and we feel like this is the most hope we've had since 2006.
He took over what, 20? You said 2015, 26?
He hasn't been in that long.
Okay. No, I get that. I understand that he's only been around, technically running for a little bit, but my point is just, really, it's just, I get that too. You cut your teeth the first time you ever running something. Anytime you do something the first time, it's not necessarily, you're never going to just get it. Yeah. And if you can figure out on the first on the fly on their first go round, that's great, you know. But I'm just happy to see that, you know, in terms of the Bears getting caught up in the modern NFL, they should have been here a long time ago. They should have been one of the four. They should have the same respect that the Steelers get. The same.
You would think that if you invented the quarterback position, you'd be able to find one.
You basically created football. you should, you know. So yeah, it took you long enough, you know. How about any questions from the Breeze Nation? Any questions anybody has as we starting to, you know?
Yeah, y'all got any questions? Shoot them for me. Shoot them to me. I guess shoot them for me is weird. Any questions y'all got, man, that I can answer? Definitely happy to answer. It was a good day, man. I was excited by practice. I was excited by what we saw from the team. I'm one of those people that's like, the back and forth is a good thing to me. The back and forth that we see, the Caleb winning some, the defense winning some, the both sides being willing to talk to each other, both sides being willing to talk trash to each other. Those are good things to me. And I'm very, very excited about what we're seeing here.
To me, it feels like, you know, something's being planted and actually taking root.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. I feel like we have something with the young quarterback. I like the fact that it's like he's owning this, and he's been very consistent in terms of wanting to be ahead of the game. He understands the magnitude of what's going on. So I like that he is embracing what it means, I think, to be the quarterback of a charter franchise. And so to get out there and mix it up with guys, you know, and I love still hearing these little things like, you know, they're still saying he's special. Like he's still doing little special things here and there. Yeah. So it's just like the Javon Dexter, or it's like any rookie. When can you start to play and not have to think, you know? And once you get to that point, now with a quarterback, it takes a while, you know, and that was one of my comments early on in this whole process. Like when it came to the Justin Fields thing, my thing was more about the continuity of having a professional football player. And then if we're able to flip that pick to get more talent, and if Fields, I always felt he had a ceiling, but, you know, I understand, like, you know, it's hard to find that guy. And if he's the guy with a number one team going to a pretty much a squad ready to go, like this is great. This is almost unprecedented outside of Andrew Luck.
Now, we did get this right before. Shout out to Baki tweeting this to us. I'll try and throw it up here on the screen if I can. We got our first unofficial depth chart from the Chicago Bears. Okay. So we can finish out the show on this here. Let me see if I can get this on the screen here, and it will show up as an actual large enough image for people with eyes to see. Boom, look at that. So our first unofficial depth chart by the Bears. Oh my God, Caleb Williams is the starter, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Caleb Williams, Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet, Darnell Wright, Nate Davis, Ryan Bates. Look at you bastards, or you bastards. Tevin Jenkins.
Whoa.
Braxton Jones.
No, Khalil Herbert is the second back.
Well, we knew that. You brought DeAndre Swift in. Why wouldn't you know that?
No. Over Roshan. We all were thinking Roshan was the number 2.
Well, with the camp that Khalil Herbert's have, I thought that Khalil was the second back. Like I said, he's made it very difficult for them to not move on from him. He's made it very difficult for them to.
Wait, pull that back up.
There's going to have to be some tough decisions made if you end up moving on from Khalil Herbert.
So Ryan Bates or Coleman Shelton.
Ryan Bates or Coleman Shelton could be the starter there. Defensive, Montez Sweat, Andrew Billings, Javon Dexter, DeMarcus Walker, TJ Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds.
Bro, are they doing some type of like a nickel package? They only have 2 linebackers.
Yeah, they run a 42 nickel.
Oh,
they ran a 42 nickel last year.
I learned something. Well, I'm used to cover 2 and the traditional whatever 3. So, okay, that means that they're putting 5 freaking backers out there. That's why Tyreek gets to do his thing. Okay,
yeah, you get Reek out there. You have
that means Tyreek
out there, Jalen out there. Yeah.
Right. It's mainly Tyreek acts as the other corner.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want too much. You don't want too much Jack Sanborn out there. But no, and then special teams is what special teams is. Corliss, sorry, dog, you're not gonna make it. Corliss Waitman's not probably not gonna make it. Hold on, let me do it this way. Actually, I can probably just do this.
Yeah, why don't you add? Couldn't you add it on the join your phone?
I could just share my screen. There we go. Oh, look at that! Phenomenal job.
Phenomenal.
But at your number 2, Tyson Bagent. He will win that job. Khalil Herbert, number 2. Roma Dunze, right now, as that backup, they'll have some 21 personnel. They'll have some 11 personnel.
Yeah.
They'll have some 12. So you'll see a nice mix of that. Gerald Deverett, Jake Curran, Matt Pryor, Coleman Shelton, Jatire Carter, who was getting – oh, my God, bro. Bro. Jatire Carter, bro. There was a play today on the right side. I think he was blocking for Austin Reed. Austin Reed would have had to pick his head up off the ground.
Wait.
It was nuts, bro. It was like, bro, there's no way you play this as a backup. Larry Bourne.
No, they got Kyler Gordon as DB. They have Tyreek as the number 2. Tyreek's that dog. Wow.
Where are you looking at?
The depth chart.
You have Kyler Gordon
as a DB, not the cornerback.
Yes, because he's the nickel corner.
My point is that Tyreek came in as the nickel. He's been elevated. Like, shout out to him.
No, Tyreek. No. Kyler Gordon was always the nickel corner.
He was the number 2 last year.
He was not.
All right, fine. Well, based off of my depth chart,
which was wrong.
Based off of my depth chart, he was the number 2 corner along with Jalen.
Yeah,
so they have him as the nickel. They now have him as the nickel. Tyreek did his thing. He was not. He was the rookie last year.
Yeah, the second half of the year, and you got Kyler in the spot that you want him in. You want Kyler defending the slot.
Yeah, but he was like a 2nd-round pick. I would think that he was the number 2 corner, and Tyreek was the
never was though. But he was drafted as that slot guy that was able to go out there and do that. Now you was able to put him in that position, and he balled out there last year. He played well there last year.
It's fine. I'm not creating any controversy like that. Pat's right. It's good to see that Tyreek has improved to the point that from what he was drafted going into the season, Kyler was the number 2, and clearly it's flipped, which is great. I like seeing. We know that Tyreek's got some talent, and he's looking like that. He's legit. I'm happy to see that.
I'll let you have it. Shout out to the chat.
Tyreek number 2. That's right. I'm like, all right, I get it. Jesus.
Shout out Coach T. Shout out Sir Lord. Shout out Doug Fuchs. What a name. Yeah, I mean, and right now I like the or on the Khalil Herbert. I think that's probably the biggest or. Ryan Bates being the starting center. Like, let's stop with the or on that. Dominique Robinson still being a part of the second unit is kind of a surprise to me. I think Austin Booker quickly takes that spot.
Yeah, that's what that's what I'm hoping to see. Silverhurst, fight. Don't fight back. Yeah, we should see. That's the other one. Austin Booker. Where's Zach Randolph in here? Where is he at? Is he
Keith Randolph
Keith
or
Randolph.
Zach
I'm
Pickens?
sorry, I keep thinking Zach Randolph.
Keith Randolph
Randolph.
is right in here. He's in
There
your
he is.
third unit.
There he is. Yeah, Noah Sewell. See how I wonder how he's doing, because was he injured?
Noah Sewell hasn't played yet.
Yeah, because he was injured.
Yeah, Noah Sewell has not played yet. So, but no, man, I think that this is, listen, you got a really good lineup of guys here. I love the depth of this. You got guys that you brought in, right? Like DeAndre Carter, Doug Kramer probably still finds a way to make a team here. Bayless Jones on that third unit as far as wide receivers go, but you know that he's one of the main special teamers, right? Mm-hmm. Punt return. I don't like seeing Bayless' name on punt return at all. Let's just stop playing around. I don't need it. I just need him on kick return. Let's not play around with it. But I mean, you got DeAndre Carter with the one.
He hasn't fumbled.
He fumbled a punt at the beginning of preseason last year, and they were like, "Yeah, we're not going to do that no more."
Yeah, but they had him in the game last year a few times. I mean, I get it. I would rather not gamble if I don't have to. But I saw improvement with him. I think the value with him is his speed. He's gotten better. So, Coach T, fully expect Joel to fix his depth chart after this show. You're darn right. Well,
the funny thing is, I never even paid attention to it that you had Kyler as the second.
No, I pulled that from ESPN months ago. That was.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say. I was like,
I think I did mine where I had the colors with the who's good and all that.
Yeah.
I definitely had Kyler as the number 2 there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you're wrong. But no, man. Appreciate. I think here's the big thing. You've got a well-rounded team. The let me throw this back up here real quick. Here's my biggest takeaway from this before we get out of here. There's a group of wide receivers here that I know all their names and know what they can do.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me feel good.
Three studs, man. That's awesome.
Think about where we started with this thing, man. Think about where we started with this thing. It was like Equinemius St. Brown, Amir Smith-Marset,
Dante Pettis,
N'Keal Harry, Dante Pettis.
So many drop passes, so many just stone hands,
and legitimately, bro. That has been. I said to J-Man, that's been one of my takeaways, bro. Not a lot of drops, bro.
Well,
the only real drop, like there's been some overthrows, there's been some PBUs. The only real drop where like it was thrown to a receiver and the receiver should have caught it and he just didn't. There was one play in 11-on-11 a couple days ago, and Caleb pointed to DJ where he wanted him to go.
Yeah.
And DJ it hit him in the hands and he dropped it. Yeah. But it's also DJ Moore, the guy who I saw Caleb threw a screen pass to. It was a little bit ahead of him. He just stuck his hand out there and the ball immediately got to it. So I'm not worried about DJ Moore missing in those moments. I think that the Bears have a really good setup right now. And I'm excited for how this team is going to go, man.
Dude, it's going to be a great
Calvin Swanson said, Pat, is this one of the most well-rounded rosters in the NFL right now? On paper. On paper, don't win games, though. On paper, yeah. There's not many more well-rounded rosters that you're going to see outside of your top 5 teams.
And because you're starting a rookie quarterback, I mean, let's just say you took a Madden rating. Let's just say he's like an 83 or 85, Imagine if he's, ascends to what we'd like him to be as a perennial Pro Bowl quarterback.
Yeah.
You're automatically just, you're in the upper echelon of the NFL.
Yeah. We'll see what it ends up being, man. Hey, appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page if you have not done so. We're live every single day. So if you're not getting a notification, either join up in the Discord or check out the Windy City Breeze. Just search that over on your YouTube channel every day. We're live every day that there is camp. We're also live Monday through Friday for a show, usually around 6 p.m. But with training camp, we get these shows in as quickly as we can. But hey, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. For the super producer, Joel Holt. Oh, he's over there. It's your boy, Pat the Designer. Back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear down. One love.